Hello, welcome to my short videos. In this video, I provide the summary of difference between profit and interest. I have expounded on these two concepts in two earlier videos. Firstly, the source of profit is knowledge and skill and exchange, whereas the source of interest or riba is the control over the quantity of money in circulation. Basically, it is the manipulation of liquidity in the market. Secondly, profit brings about the creation of value and increases living standards, whereas interest is an unjust transfer of value because it is created through manipulating the liquidity in the market. Thirdly, profit does not necessitate additional money. To illustrate this, we can use this simple, typical statement of financial position. Now, this is the cash, and we do not need to increase the cash in order to increase the profits. The same cash can circulate in the economy and thereby increase return earnings and assets in the economy. However, interest necessitates additional money if you do not want to see people default, because interest is not repayable in aggregate. Fourthly, profit brings about mutual cooperation among people, whereas interest is an exploitation of people and it creates competition, business competition and competition between people because of scarce money that is needed in order to pay back principal plus the interest that does not exist in the form of money. Next, profit is a positive sum of game, which means a profit to one is not a loss to another. However, interest is a zero-sum game, that is, interest income to one is an interest expense to another. Profit is determined ex post. That is only at the end of the transactions that you realize whether you made a profit or not. Interest is ex ante, it means it's determined upfront. Next, profit is endogenous, which means it is determined within the real economy. Whereas interest is exogenous, it is imposed from outside the system. And profit conforms to natural order of things, whereas interest goes against entropy. In real economy, when we save, the savings are subject to entropy, that is, to decay and so forth, that can reduce the value. However, interest of today, when we save money, it increases. So therefore, it goes against the natural order of things. Profit is the source of increased standard of living, whereas interest is the source of a myriad socio-economic, political, and environmental problems. And from the scriptures, profit invokes blessings from God, whereas interest invites the wrath of God. Under dual banking system and the consequent convergence between the two, i.e. the Islamic financial system with the conventional financial system, the interest rate has become the benchmark for the profit rate in Islamic banking and finance. In this, we need to ask, does Islamic finance target the interest benchmark or does it demand the interest benchmark? The difference is when you are targeting, it's ex post, whereas when you demand, it's ex ante, that means it's decided upfront. If it is decided upfront, then the profit rate becomes the interest rate itself. Let me illustrate this. Now, this is an example of targeting benchmark. Now this is a beef seller and this is a pork seller. And the beef seller is inviting people to invest in his business. And the investor says, I will invest my money, but please try to make returns like him. That is, make 20%. And the beef seller says, okay, I will try. Only at the end of the period, we will know whether he was able to make the 20% or not. So that's targeting the benchmark. In demanding benchmark, let's say the investor says, I will invest my money, but you must give me returns like his. That is, you must give me 20%. Then he says, oh, that's risky for me. That means you're not sure whether you'll make it or not, but he has to give the 20%, whatever happens to his business. Then here, you are demanding the benchmark. Then the investor gets this 20% for sure. So, does Islamic finance targets the interest rate benchmark or does it demand the benchmark? Please answer yourself. Bye.